With you today, just from my heart, unscripted, are the three dimensions of the black horse, including the symbolism, the archetype, and the planet, which for me is like seeing or finding the medicine of the horse in the stars. And again, how when I personally started working with those aspects or facets of the dark horse, how they seriously shifted and changed my life and really empowered me again to reclaim my wholeness, my freedom, and my sovereignty. And before I dive in, I just want to take a moment to just share with you. I specifically wore this pendant for this occasion. I don't wear it a lot because it actually, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like a little chip here at the end of the tail, this little black pony. And I want to share this with you because for me, the magic, if you will, the mystery of the black horse, the dark horse really is epitomized in this story for me. And I don't know if that's the right word, but let me just take you back to a time when I literally found Indigo, who I call my dream horse come true. I'm gonna take a sip of water. I found him on a website called dreamhorse.com. Okay. And I saw his picture, read his description, jumped out at me, chills, pings, all the things, right? And anyway, I contacted his owner at the time. I don't like that word, but his guardian at the time. And she told me she was getting ready to go out of the country. And so we were going to set up a time in a few weeks, or I think it was like a month later, for me to come out and see him because he wasn't in the neighborhood. It was a little over an hour away. Anyway, so we did that. And of course, like I just couldn't stop thinking about him. I was just like mad in love with, this horse, even though I hadn't even met him. And anyway, even his name Indigo was just like crazy divine synchronicity for me because at that time I had this vision of creating like Indigo Horse Medicine Healing Center. Anyway, during that month, while I was waiting to connect with her and meet him, I had scheduled for myself going away to a women's retreat up in Nashville, North Carolina. Is that North or South? I can't remember. Anyway, geography is not my strong point. Anyway, the woman was selling these pendants, okay, and she had them in all the different like stones and colors and whatnot. And of course, this one caught my attention because it was black, and indigo is a black Arabian gelding. And so I instantly was like, oh, this is the one I want, and I bought that. I was wearing it. And so I came back from the trip, which was amazing. That's a whole other story. And then I was doing some laundry and this, like I leaned over and this hit the side of the washing machine. Okay. And sadly, chipped this little tail end off of the hind end of this horse. And I was really upset and we couldn't find it. Anyway, fast forward about a month later when I went down to meet him, as planned, one of the first things that I saw that I could not believe was that half of his tail was missing. Now I got chills and like how crazy is that? And for me, it spoke to like this just deep connection that I had with this horse. And fast forward, obviously he's with me now and he truly is a dream horse come true in so many ways, but I'm going to spare you that story because I really want to get to the, the essence of what I want to share today. But I really hope that hopefully gives you a little peek into the magic, the medicine, the wisdom of the dark horse. And I also want to say that I've had 3 Arabians, and the first 2 were chestnuts, and Indigo, is the black horse, and the energies of them, they've all been special and amazing and magical, and dreams come true in their own ways. And I mainly call Indigo that because of the whole story and that I found him on the dreamhorse.com website. But that being said, the energy that Indigo has really shared with me, as my divine equine partner, has been really nothing short of magical in different dimensions, if you will, the tail and even the reflection of my fears and anxieties, which he really amplifies and doesn't let me get away with. My other horses did. Okay, like Hannah, she was my steady Eddie, and she took care of me even if I was feeling fearful. Whereas with Indigo, if I get on his back and I am not being mindful or conscious and practicing my mind body awareness, and I start to have a little panic or fear, and it may or may not have anything to do with him or what's going on in the environment, it may even just be my own stuff that I'm processing. Okay, it will literally like amplify when I got on his back. So it's almost like he is like reflecting and amplifying and really not letting me get away with those fears because he's bringing it to life for me and really showing me that I need to address it. And so anyway, that's a little sidebar, but he is one of the reasons in the physical 3D that I feel the dark horse medicine or wisdom is so profound and magical for me. So let's go back, and I want to talk about first the symbolism. And so if you think about Chinese medicine, you've got that yin yang, right? I had all these in the slides, but you've got the dark and the light, the white, the dark, the white, and the black, right? The black part is the yin, and the white part is the yang. And the yang is the masculine, it's the light, it's the doing. Okay, the yin is the feminine, it's the dark, it's the mysterious, it's the nighttime. Okay, and so that dark energy, right away, we've got this connection, this deep connection to the feminine. And of course, the feminine is that being, it's the intuitive, it's the mystery, it's the magic, right? And so I just, for me, that is just so magical. Then if we look at different cultures, like for example, in certain Islamic male-dominated cultures, I had read that they actually slaughter black foals at birth because essentially they were fearing the power of the feminine. I remember crying when I read that years ago, but it speaks to, again, this connection to the deep feminine. Carl Jung also has in certain, and I'm not going to go through all the sources right now, but anyway, because they were all the slides. But anyway, Carl Jung, as a result of the work that he did with his clients, was led to the conclusion that when dark horse images actually, showed up, like in their dreams, for example, or visions or whatever, that it actually was a representation of the deep feminine wisdom rising from the collective consciousness. And like to me, again, that is chills. Okay, and then finally, in Native American, they do talk about the dark horse really being, inviting you to ride their back, to ride into the darkness, into the void, to find the light. And so again, for me, it's kind of like doing your shadow work and putting it on steroids, because now you've got this magical horse spirit guide partner to accompany you on that journey. So that is the symbolism piece that, for me, I find really profound. The next piece I want to chat with you about is the archetype. Now, the archetype, when I talk about the archetype, I am talking about like when I looked it up, it's amazing. I looked this up in the dictionary and it said the dark horse is like that unlikely contender, like such as a racehorse who ends up being like victorious, right? So it's kind of like the underdog maybe. And then there's a book called The Dark Horse by Todd Rose, and I think it's August, I can pronounce it. And he did a study that, I don't know if he conducted it, but his book is based on the research from a study at Harvard of different individuals who, would be considered unlikely to succeed, but they really, shattered the conventional notions of success and blazed their own path, their own trail to success, to fulfillment, to happiness by harnessing their unique individuality. So again, bucking the system. And that book for me is just such a powerful, again, symbolism or description of the archetype of the dark horse. Okay, they called it the Dark Horse Project in that book. And finally, when we come to the Dark Horse Planet, who I not too long ago actually discovered, an astrologist, and I think his name is Martin Lass, who wrote a book about Chiron, referring to Chiron, the wounded healer archetype, as the Dark Horse Planet. And for me, like, it just pulled all these like pieces together that over the years I've been collecting and digesting and assimilating and working with and playing with. It was just so powerful. So Chiron is a celestial body that was discovered in 1977. And at that time, right, and that's not that long ago, at that time, all the holistic modalities, the mind, body medicine, chiropractic, holistic, fully integrated mind, body, and spirit started to emerge, right? And so it's no accident that Chiron was discovered at that time. Chiron being, again, the Dark Horse Planet, associated with the wounded healer archetype and the associated with the sacred centaur, half human, half horse. So my throat chakra is really at it today. So when we put all these pieces together and we do the work, I'm going to just get under the light here a little bit. When we do the work of the wounded healer, where we address, we uncover, we acknowledge, we heal, we integrate our soul wounds, which, by the way, our natal chart, literally, the placement of Chiron in your natal chart literally is your soul's blueprint for your soul's work and your soul's purpose. I mean, your soul's wounds and your soul's work, okay? Because they're connected, because as you, do that healing work to integrate those past wounds, then you discover your gifts, your strengths, and your purpose. Which is essentially what happened to me.